So Noche, you want to start us off just announcing what's the plans for May Day and why people should come out?
Well, May Day, May 1st, and the weekend that follows, we're celebrating a revolutionary internationalist holiday. As we have said in the call for May Day, we need and we demand revolution for a whole new way to live and a fundamentally different system. This year, we are also raising the slogan to stop the U.S.-Israeli genocide of Palestinians now and stop capitalism imperialism from stealing our future. Look around the world today. You've seen images and videos of a slow-motion, high-tech Holocaust carried out by Israel against the people of Palestine. Children being dug out from the rubble. An entire strip of Gaza bombed, leveled. Millions of people shifted from one part to another and repeatedly bombed everywhere they move. Wiped out. This is an example of the future that this system has in store for humanity. Millions of people all around the world fleeing their homes, moving from here to there because of what this system has wrought, either through wars, interventions, or the destruction of our very environment and the planet we live on, making life unlivable. And then they get to the imperialist countries and are treated like animals at the border. Demonized, hunted. And then in those imperialist countries themselves, like this country, generations of people who have been oppressed, demonized, exploited, used up, and who this system has no use for. Like in this country, the way they've massively incarcerated and murdered black people as well as other people of color, which we saw again in Chicago with Dexter Reed, a young man pulled over by tactical cops. Another word for more heavily armed, even more militaristic murderers. 96 shots in under a minute. Murdering yet another black man in this country.
Open the door now!
How much more do you need to see? As we've said, for May Day, one of the reasons you need to be there is, as Bob Avakian has put it, we can no longer afford to allow these imperialists to continue to dominate the world and determine the destiny of humanity. And it is a scientific fact that humanity does not have to live this way. So join us in raising this slogan, this Internationalist Revolutionary May Day, and this demand, which on the back of it says very clearly that in the name of the people, the billions in this country and throughout the world who are treated as less than human, enslaved, exploited, oppressed, terrorized, brutalized, and murdered by police, and slaughtered by the armed forces of this system that we are now forced to live under, the system of capitalism, imperialism. In the name of humanity, the billions in all parts of the world who are denied a decent life and a future worth living in, or any future at all, threatened with literal extinction because of the destruction of the environment by this system and the danger of nuclear war between the U.S. and its rivals in Russia and China. All of them. Ruthless imperialist powers. Once again, we can no longer afford to allow these imperialists to continue to dominate the world and determine the destiny of humanity. And it is a scientific fact that humanity does not have to live this way. We need and we demand a whole new way to live, a fundamentally different system.
So this is the core reason to come out on May 1st with the RevCom Corps for the emancipation of humanity all across this country to deliver this message. We refuse to accept this. We need and we demand a whole new way to live, a fundamentally different system. And here in Los Angeles to come out as well on May 5th, that Sunday, in one of the neighborhoods of the oppressed, where we're going to be gathering and marching through the neighborhood with people from the neighborhood and people from around other parts of society coming together. There'll be a march, there'll be a picnic, there'll be a ceremony, and this will be a way for people to stand up and get organized and spread this revolution. Now, a lot of people, They hear about revolution, even if they think it's a good idea, they say, oh, that's never going to happen. The rulers are too powerful and the people are too messed up. And there's reasons, good reasons they say this, but they're wrong. And one thing that's really important to understand, and one thing that makes this May Day and the importance of coming out this May Day all the more important, is that we are living in a rare time. A time when revolution is more possible than it has been in generations. You know, you were talking about all these crimes of the rulers of this imperialist system. But one thing we have to understand, and this is an analysis that Bob Avakian has made, these rulers are more divided than they have been in over 100 years. They are at each other's throats, and this fight is going to intensify as we go through this upcoming elections. It's likely to get way out of bounds. And what people need to understand is when they fight like this, they are no longer united in suppressing and repressing the people. They're at each other's throats. The veil of democracy is being ripped off through the genocide that Genocide Joe is pursuing. People's lives are being jolted through things like this police murder, Dexter Reed, or through this horrendous Dark Ages 1864 abortion ban that just got ruled constitutional to wipe out all abortion in the state of Arizona for women there. There's all kinds of ways people's lives are being disrupted. When these rulers are divided and ripping up normal life, this is a time for the people to break through from below and make a revolution. Bring forward the forces to bring them down and bring about a whole different way to live. And if we had thousands organized into this revolution now, we are in a period where millions could be woken up and won to revolution and be led to go for it with a real chance to win. So this May Day is happening in this moment when we have to make a leap. We're not going to organize thousands this May Day, but we have to make a leap in organizing the forces for revolution and putting this revolution on the map for many, many more people to be considering and weighing and becoming part of. So I think this is another reason people need to come out.
And finally, why you need to join us on May Day is because this May Day 2024, we are declaring that we dare to fight and win a future worthy of our children and of all of humanity. To actually win, that daring and that courage has to be grounded in something. And it is grounded in the biggest thing that we can have right now, which is Bob Avakian has done what no one else in this country has ever done. If you go to Bob Avakian Official, you'll see laid out dispatches, and in particular, a set of dispatches number 1 through 11, which get into why a revolution is what is actually needed and how that revolution can be made. On this day, May Day, people are going to learn about Bob Avakian, the leadership he's providing. But starting right now, you and everybody need to be getting into this, and we in the RevCom Corps for the emancipation of humanity aim to be going with people through these 1 through 11 dispatches to be grounded in what this revolution is for and how we need to go about it, so that on May Day, when we have the dozens and scores stepping out to raise these demands, people also see a serious and determined, organized, disciplined, and growing force that actually means it and has the basis to mean it. And as people see that, this is a step and a turning point this year for the growing thousands who need to be organized to make a revolution in the time we live in now. And the time that you need to start working for this and getting with this is now. Give the next 3 weeks. Learn about the whole different world we're fighting for, and if that's all you can agree with for now, come on May Day and raise the slogan and demand that we need, and we demand a whole different way to live in a fundamentally different system. But don't turn away and don't stop at just where you're comfortable. Get uncomfortable, because the world is becoming increasingly uncomfortable and unlivable for millions, billions of people, and ultimately humanity. But there's a way to live not comfortable, but a way to live full of fire, hope, inspiration, and the possibility of a whole different future. There is something worth living and fighting, and when necessary, dying for. So be there May Day, but be there now. As you're learning more about this, spread the word about this revolution. Let people know about May Day. Post up the call for the day. Get together with your local RevCom Corps or others who are beginning to get into this revolution to develop the plans for how we're going to let people know about this and involve them in this revolution on May Day and that weekend. And as you learn more about this revolution, as you become convinced of the possibility of a different world, as you become convinced of what it's going to take to get there, be there not just for Mayday, but be there for the whole thing.
All right. Thank you, Noche, for helping open the show today and for those words about Mayday. Take that to heart and let's keep moving with the show.